Zachary Reese, even though yellow name, I think he's coming in at a minus 549, and I think, to be honest, he's going to probably put it to Medina. He even might get the quick win, in my opinion. So I'm going to be looking at that. I mean, round one finishes at a 115. That's a 46% chance. He looks like, at least as of now, his ownership is fairly low, coming in about 27%. Yep, good to go.
Okay, perfect. And we will go 3, 2, 1. Welcome to DFS Insights. My name is David Grant Jr. This is my co-host and my cousin, Mr. David G. And we're going to be breaking down for you UFC Vegas 96. We are just coming off an amazing card here. We had Israel Adesanya versus my man, Mr. DDP, Dricus Duplessis. Man, what a fight that was. That was amazing. I know our math that we put up here, the cheat sheet we'll be putting up for you guys here soon. I know we did well on that, as usual. That's what we're here for you guys. Hey, David, did you see Izzy getting finished there by DDP?
Yeah, well, Matt saw it. I definitely agreed with it for sure. So I definitely went pretty heavy on DDP. We had the Kai Car France winning that fight as well. A lot had Urcheg. Definitely more surprising that he put Urcheg out as quickly as he did, but definitely benefited there. So yeah.
So yeah, man, here at UFC Vegas 96, the headlining fight here, we got Caio Borralho versus Jared Cannonier. This is going to be a great fight. We got the undefeated Borralho versus Jared Cannonier, who is a former former title challenger. How about we go ahead and just take a look at maybe our little math cheat sheet here, and then we can go ahead and see what fighters we think are looking good this week, based on some of the math here, and then also some of our gut projections.
Yeah, no. So we got the sheet up here. You're right, Cannonier. Unfortunately, he's had a really good career. Unfortunately, he's never got to hold the belt. However, looking at just the main event wise, math, we got Vegas coming in at minus 250, so 71% here. Our math is actually projecting Kai Borralho to win, 59%, a little bit less than what Vegas has. I think Kai's coming in as the grappler. I think he's probably one of the better grapplers in that division. However, this is, I think, a step up in competition. Just looking back, Cannonier's, even though he's 40, he seems to have, the endurance, just being a beast himself. All this time, he's been fighting 5 rounds almost, I think, every time out in the last, probably several years. So I don't see his cardio, endurance, anything being an issue here. However, I think Kai Borralho, as long as he doesn't get caught, I mean, Cannonier got some power, but I think he's going to probably, get the grappling edge over Cannonier in that one. So I'm going to, look at the fight, but I think I'm going to edge here with the math and Vegas.
Yeah, I don't blame you on that. I'll be equally exposed here on both of those guys. My gut here being with Cannonier, I really feel like his last performance was the mental side of an injury, and making it through those 4 rounds was still, he found a lot of good things in that loss. And as long as he did, and again, like you're saying, he's 40, so this is his last shot, so I fully see it. I see what you're saying, where he's facing an undefeated guy. I'm with you. As much as a fan of me wants Cannonier to win, when I'm putting my money where my mouth is, I'll probably be having some more money here on Borralho than.
Yeah, I mean, as a UFC fan, I would love to see fighters win, but as a DFS player, I can care less. As if I'm, if my personal favorite wins, I want the people that I'm betting on to win. So that's the kind of double-edged sword when you play DFS and a fan of the sport, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But other than that, this card is just full of what am I gonna do?
Yeah.
I mean, just
Yep.
looking down here, just at our cheat sheet, if you follow us, the yellow fighters are basically 3 or less fights in the UFC, and that's 11 out of the 24 fighters. And I could say six of the fighters, so the bottom 6 fighters from basically Ryan Lauder, fights 10, 11, and 12 here on the cheat sheet, they have 0 fights in the UFC. 2 of which I believe are coming from the Ultimate Fighter. I don't think I've watched the Ultimate Fighter since Griffin, or maybe I think what Griffin was there. A few good ones came out of the Ferguson, Rashad Evans, but I don't think it has the appeal it used to. But obviously they're going to be on the slate, so I've got to take them into consideration. Not to mention. So you have those fighters, and also mention this is a 3-woman fight card. Typically, the women's fight go lower owned on it, so definitely going to be looking at those for advantages. But yeah, where do you start? Where do you start?
Man, yeah, this is definitely all newcomers are meeting that, savvy vet. So that is a scary part because, as you mentioned, these guys in yellow are more or less unproven, at least in the UFC. Some names that do jump out to me, Gerald Meerschaert to me is live just about any fight he's in. He can submit you. Really, submission is probably the way he's going to get you. Unfortunately, he does have a pretty dusty chin. But I'll be looking, around the Gerald Meerschaert arena. Um, you know, and if I'm not mistaken here, math says I want to say, is he favored?
Yeah, Meerschaert. Vegas has Shahbazyan favored at 75%, and our math has Meerschaert at 55. So
Yeah.
math is actually coming in.
Okay. I'm not a Shahbazyan fan, man. I've been following him since he's been in the UFC, as well as Meerschaert. To be honest, man, I think that could be if I'm giving you one upset, here on this card, Gerald Meerschaert is who I'll be definitely over the field on. He's won me tons of money when he's a strong underdog. He always has a chance if it goes to the ground. He can get you in all sorts of chokes. So
Yeah.
that's really what sticks out the most to me. Do you got any fights here or fighters you think that are sticking out on your end?
Oh, geez, man. So, Zachary Reese, even though yellow name, I think, he's coming in at a minus 549. And I think, to be honest, he's going to probably put it to Medina. He even might get the quick win, in my opinion. So I'm going to be looking at that. I mean, round 1 finishes at a 115. That's a 46% chance. He looks like, at least as of now, his ownership is fairly low, coming in about 27%. So that's pretty good leverage. 27.6, pretty good leverage there. So I'll definitely be looking at him. And I like it that he's at the lower end of the 9K. So, basically any first round win, I think, would pay off that salary. He doesn't necessarily need the fast, the quick win there. So that one, I think he's going to be putting into. I was kind of hoping fight 5, Francis Marshall versus Dennis Buzukja here. I was hoping the replacement for Dan Silva, because he was supposed to be fighting Dennis there, would come in and actually be the underdog. That would put Dennis as the favorite at that low salary and kind of get that free win there. But it looks like Francis is coming in, and our math and Vegas have him as the favorite, unfortunately. It's a newer fight. Marshall's coming in on short notice, so there wasn't any information on inside the distance or round 1 odds. So, make sure you hit the like, subscribe, notification bell, and stay tuned. we're gonna try to drop a final insights live stream, typically about an hour before. I'm gonna try to make it. I'm doing a little bit of house hunting this weekend, so if I can convince the wife to, let me be let me be free, we'll get that stream up and going. But definitely want to get going. That was fun last time, and we helped, I believe, some people pick some fights and things, and just keep the conversation going. Wayne Cong coming in at the minus 1205. Victoria Leonardo, I think Kong's going to put it to her. That could be a round one win for her in a women's fight. So keep an eye on that. It looks like Victoria's coming here at the best leverage play. Simply because she's at 4% owned. So I probably just being a leverage play, I might be 4 to 6%. Don't take that as she's the green on the thing, I'm going to play 30% of her. No. She's just going to be the best leverage if she happens to win, being at 4% owned. Other than that, I mean, the co-main event is up in the air. Our math has that. I might be looking at the math there, but man.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. And I mean, I think if there's anything that we all learned from last week, it's that even if you're a minus 1,300 favorite and you're a minus like 750 to finish in round one, and you should also finish in 60 seconds, that fight could definitely be really boring and go the distance and really ruin a whole lot of lineups. So make sure to diversify your lineups depending on how many you're making. That's definitely important, no matter what number you see beside the fighter. This is a fight. Two men are getting locked in a cage. One guy's coming out victorious, and honestly, anything can happen. So,
and we're not going to put names to it. Tom Nolan.
No, right.
Just saying, unless you're watching, you won.
Tom Nolan.
Yeah. Jeez, man.
Hey, but you had the play of the slate for what I'd argue is with Jenkins though, man. By going to Jenkins.
I told you
Jenkins.
Jenkins and Kaikar France. I told you that guy was going to put it to Urcheg. He was going to be my favorite, and to pass on what's her name?
It was the only women's fight on. Oh yeah, on O'Neal, because O'Neal was the biggest underdog.
Underdog, highest owned. She did win, but she didn't get it. So, that's just what we do here. We pick winners. So, our math has been pretty accurate. Fights that aren't yellow name fighters, we're about 80%, 75 to 80%, including yellow names, drops down to about 65, 70%. And that's just simply because there's not enough data to, for math to kind of work it. If a fighter gets, some of these stats are like, 13 strikes, significant strikes per minute. And you're like, yeah, come on. You're not maintaining that your career. But no, other than that, these fights seem to be pretty interesting. I'm not going to say good. It is definitely highly recommend watching tape as much as you can, because there's not a lot of information out. I mean, even following the Ultimate Fighter, you probably have a little bit, more, knowledge and maybe an up on the field if you actually know the, Lauder, Frey, Santos, and Offley there. You'll have more experience watching those fights. However, keep in mind, the nerves that those fighters are going to probably have. It's UFC. It's for a contract. It's in front of probably a bigger thing. I don't know how many people are going to show up early to watch that fight, but
yeah, man. Yeah, it's pretty wild. They're not actually naming this. Usually it's the tough finale, and then they make a big deal out of it. But now that Dana White has this Contender Series, he's really seeing all of his top prospects come from there. So I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see another Ultimate Fighter in quite some time, to be honest. He's doing just great, in the other stuff.
They have the next season already planned. I think it's actually the fight Grasso versus Stefanks. Oh my God, what's her name? So
Oh, Shevchenko.
yeah,
Yeah, no, that'd be amazing then.
yeah.
Okay, well, that'd be awesome then. Connor and Michael Chandler have a little bit of a bad taste in our mouth since that happened 5 years ago, and they still haven't fought. So,
They
uh,
they
you
will.
know,
Yeah, why don't
yep,
as long as Conor
yeah,
McGregor doesn't stub his toe again.
I know.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah. Other than that, dude, I don't. We unfortunately just this card is just so much unknown data watching field. So we wanted to throw up the cheat sheet here, and obviously make sure you tune in. And this cheat sheet will be basically finalized about an hour before the fight. Hopefully we go live at that time, and we can have a little bit more, do a little bit more tape watching. Michael Morales fight, I think he's going to put it to Magny. I don't think Magny has the power to kind of do anything to Morales. 9,500 salary, though. I just don't see him putting Magny out either. So I think I might be a lower owned on that, even though he's coming in at 20%, just because I think that's going to go the distance. And I don't see him getting paying back his salary.
Okay.
So
Sure.
that other than that, the Llontop or Borshchev cough, kind of like that. Math has Llontop winning, but that's a yellow fight. I think this is a better one for Borshchev. He's been waiting to fight strikers. He seems to get the short end of the stick and been fighting grapplers, and he's so one-dimensional. He's been not doing great. So I think Llontop, he's a striker, so that's going to be fist flying, I believe, there. So keep that in mind. And when fists are flying, it's really anybody's game with
Anyone's.
yeah. So man, other than that, geez, I think, in all honesty, I'll be honest with you. I'll probably go a little bit lighter than I typically do on this card.
Same.
It's
Yep,
just
same
right
here.
now. This is almost kind of like NFL preseason. Like I don't. There's not that much information out there. You don't really know what's going to go on. However, at the same time, that goes. That basically can give you the edge. So do the research, do the grind. And join us next time, and we'll have more information, because we're still going to do the grind and everything, because I still want my lineups to be as best they can. So anything else to add before we get here?
Hey, hey guys, man, we're never going to steer you guys wrong. As we both mentioned, we're going to be, probably significantly lighter on this card than most other cards, only because there's so many new fighters here. We're not here to just, place a bet and hope that it happens. We're here because we want to follow math, and we want to put everybody in the best position to win. So, we should be checking in live before lock. So make sure to check YouTube on that. Check DFS Insights. We'll give you any of our last final thoughts there. And good luck to everybody out there on who is gambling on this card. I'm sorry, it's not really gambling, since DFS is a skilled sport. But good luck to everybody out there. Hope we have a great card. Let's go, Jared Cannonier. Again, please like, subscribe. We got NFL, we got NBA, we got all sorts of great stuff coming up. So, please like, subscribe, and we will see you guys on the next one.